Welcome back to Definitely Not Definitive. I'm Ken.
And I'm Bethany.
And we're just a couple of casual gamers in love that love to play some games together.
We are and we do. Yes.
This is true. No, I'm not saying that when we're actually playing a game, but so this is a game that we want to play. It's Baldur's Gate 3. It will be a game we eventually play, but we're getting to learn a little bit more about it. We just checked out some trailers for it. We checked out some of the origin characters for it, and now we're gonna check out the classes. And so this is a GameSpot's video of Baldur's Gate 3. Which class is right for you? Okay. And if you want all of our Baldur's Gate 3 reactions, check out the description of this video. We got a playlist there for you. And now we're gonna check out kind of which class we want to play as when we do this our first playthrough.
Yes.
Choosing your class is arguably the most important decision you will make in Baldur's Gate 3.
In your life.
With 12 classes available, it can feel a bit overwhelming. Luckily for you, we're going to break down each and every class to help you pick the one that best suits your playstyle.
Okay.
The Barbarian is a rage-fueled machine that primarily specializes in close quarters
combat.
Look at me for that. Proficient in simple weapons, martial weapons, light armor, medium armor, and shields. The base Barbarian class has a high strength stat that is capable of throwing objects and people great distances for strategic and offensive effects. Sweet. The Barbarian's class action is Rage. With Rage active, you can deal 2 extra damage with melee and improvised weapons, and you have resistance against physical damage. Rage lasts 10 turns, but it will end early if you don't attack or don't get hit. If melee combat and raw strength is your thing, then Barbarian is a safe bet. Nice. While the Bard class is generally known for its high charisma, it does have access to some useful support cantrips and spells, including Vicious Mockery, that allows a Bard to insult a creature so bad it has disadvantage on the next attack phase.
Nice.
Amazing.
Bards are skill experts. Like their D&D counterparts, they're naturally gifted at a little bit of everything. They are proficient in simple weapons, hand crossbows, long swords, rapiers, short swords, instruments, and light armor. As such, they can easily guide teammates through any sort of tricky situation using Bardic Inspiration and the Bard's class action to inspire an ally and add a bonus to their next attack roll, ability check, or saving throw. Of course, a Bard's innate gift for mastery skills includes knowing how to play instruments, and you get to choose your preferred instrument during the character creation phase. Cool. These include the hand drum, flute, lyre, and violin. The Bard may not be a powerhouse on the battlefield, but it's a solid pick for those interested in support and speechcraft. Clerics are powerful magic users that wield the divine power of the gods they worship. With high wisdom and dexterity, they are proficient in simple weapons, morning stars, light armor, medium armor, and shields. Thanks to their 7 available subclasses, clerics also have access to a wider range of cantrips and spells. Some subclasses also come with extra proficiencies such as the Tempest Domain, which includes martial weapons and heavy armor. Of course, clerics can also offer some great support options such as the Life Domain subclass. Unlike other RPGs though, where clerics and holy warriors are just healers, clerics in Baldur's Gate 3 can cover a handful of roles in a party. Be sure to explore and read each subclass before making a decision. For example, don't pick Trickery Domain thinking you'll still be a great healer. Druids are known for their ability to wild shape, which allows them to transform into a handful of beasts throughout the world. Wild shaping can serve many different purposes throughout your adventure, which can be tanking or exploring areas in unique ways. Cats can leap from great heights without taking fall damage, and spiders can lay down sticky webs that catch fire and slow enemies. One major bonus of choosing a druid is that they have the Speak with Animals spell by default, which opens up a lot of unique opportunities.
You're addressing me? A humble ox. How quaint.
Druids are proficient with clubs, daggers, javelins, maces,
just talking to all the animals.
Spears, light armor, medium armor, and shields. They also have access to a wide range of primordial spells, including a few support ones, making them decent healers. If you're going the tank route, know that your wild shape has its own HP pool, as if you have an extra life in battle. When that pool is exhausted, you return to your normal shape with the HP you had before changing. When it comes to an exploration build, druids can sneak into places the rest of the party can't and may frequently find themselves alone, which makes them prime candidates for skills based around sneaking, subterfuge, and lockpicking. Observe the environment you're sneaking into. If, for example, goblins have spider friends, they won't bat an eye if you skulk around as a spider. Fighters are relatively straightforward, but don't let that fool you into thinking they're boring. Like their D&D counterparts, fighters are one of the most versatile classes able to fulfill a multitude of roles. They are proficient in simple weapons, martial weapons, light armor, medium armor, heavy armor, and shields. Their class action, Second Wind, allows them to draw from their stamina to heal themselves. Fighters can also pick a passive fighting style that grants specific buffs. Altogether, that already makes fighters fierce frontliners. At level 2, they also get Action Surge, an ability which grants them an additional action during a fight. And then when you pick a subclass, you can opt for something like Battle Master to support and strengthen your teammates' abilities, or Eldritch Knight to unlock magic. Fighters are perfect for those who prefer physical combat, but maybe don't know what role they ultimately want to fulfill in the team. You get access to a wide variety of helpful abilities to choose from as you level up your character. Monks are masters of unarmed combat, but they are proficient in simple weapons and martial weapons as well. A monk's class action is Flurry of Blows, a melee attack that hits twice and deals bludgeoning damage on the target. What the monk lacks in armor, they make up for with reflexes, and has several martial arts modifiers that boost their melee abilities.
Like after
At
talking to
level 3,
animals
the
and
monk
like
also unlocks a
getting into
choice of
places
subclass that can
and
focus on either elemental, stealth, or defensive
basically two
abilities.
lives.
So like the fighter
Sounds
and
impressive.
cleric, you can get a lot of variety with this class. Pick the monk if you want to get up close and personal with your enemies and use your physicality to solve problems. The Paladin is your knight in shining armor class, acting as a hybrid of the cleric and the fighter. They uphold justice at any cost and are proficient in simple weapons, martial weapons, light armor, medium armor, heavy armor, and shields. A Paladin's class action is dependent on the oath they choose. The Oath of the Ancients has Healing Radiance, which heals the user and nearby allies. The Oath of Devotion has Holy Rebuke, which casts an aura around an ally that deals radiant damage to attacking enemies. And the Oath of Vengeance has Inquisitor's Might, which deals extra radiant damage and can daze enemies. Depending on how you spec them, they can be great tanks due to their proficiency in heavy armor and shields. Quite possibly the most interesting thing about the Paladin class is that you can break your oath depending on the choices you make throughout your journey.
cool.
Rangers call upon the support of familiars to assist them in and out of combat. They are
Like
proficient
Aragorn,
in simple
kind of.
weapons, martial weapons, light armor, medium armor, and shields. Rangers can also choose a couple
it's like,
passive abilities at the outset, some of which grant
X
them
and Box.
resistances to cold, fire, and poison. Acting as sort of a hybrid of druid and fighter, Rangers can specialize in the use of both primordial magic and multiple weapons, not just bows and crossbows as their name might suggest. Like our favorite ranger, Lord of the Rings' Aragorn, they are also great trackers, able to better navigate spaces, figure out the source of tracks, or locate lost objects. Rogues are a high dexterity stealth focused class. They have a ranged and melee sneak attack that deals extra damage if you have advantage over your foe, like attacking them while invisible or backstabbing enemies while they are engaged by other party members.
Cool.
Rogues are proficient with simple weapons, hand crossbows, long swords, rapiers, short swords, and light armor. Hiding, sneaking, and ambushing enemies is crucial for rogues. Like bards, rogues are skill experts, but they primarily use their innate talents for their own benefits. Sorcerers are naturally gifted magic users that channel their abilities from ancient power sources. In Baldur's Gate 3, there are 3 subclasses you can pick from the outset, but the most chaotic option allows for wild magic. This basically adds a random modifier on certain spells. This can lead to some interesting situations and can stir up a little chaos in your playthrough. Sorcerers are proficient with daggers, quarterstaffs, and light crossbows, but you likely won't be using any of them as much as you're casting spells. Sorcerers don't have as many spellcasting options as wizards, but their unique meta magic abilities make up for it. They are the perfect pick for those looking to ensue a little bit of chaos. Warlocks are spellcasters with a catch. They have access to a decent amount of spells, but they use warlock spell slots instead of standard spell slots. Typically, this means that warlocks can't cast as many spells in combat, but they can recover their spell slots after a short rest. You may not need to short rest all that much though, because warlocks have access to one of the best cantrips called Eldritch Blast. They are proficient with simple weapons and light armor and have high charisma. They are also a bit of a hybrid class, straddling the line between martial classes and spellcasters. Additionally, warlocks can pick one of 3 packs or subclasses that give them access to different actions and spells. Warlocks are well suited for folks who know they want melee combat with a splash of spellcasting from the outset and don't want to opt for something like fighter or rogue. Wizards have access to a dizzying array of cantrips and spells that make them a deadly jack of all trades on the battlefield. In terms of sheer variety, the wizard has the widest diversity of spells of any class. Due to their wide range of spells, wizards can easily set up combos that would normally require coordination across multiple party members. The downside is that wizards cannot equip armor, making them fragile in combat. They are proficient with daggers, quarterstaffs, and light crossbows, but none of them compare to a good old fireball. This is a great choice for folks who want to blow shit up and experiment with a bunch of different spells. Keep in mind that your class isn't the only thing that affects your character. Certain races have unique bonuses, backgrounds come with different skills, ability points can be altered, and there are 46 subclasses in total, which can lead to different spells, abilities, and playstyles. You can
46.
even multi-class in Baldur's Gate 3, but we'll save that for another video. Let us know which class you plan on choosing and drop any tips below for your fellow adventurers.
So I feel like we would need a video just on choosing our characters.
Well, that's why, I mean, you know.
Like one whole video would just be us choosing characters.
Well, that's what the kind of these videos are, is that like we're, you know, getting a little bit ahead of that. Because I figured that, I heard this was it's Dungeons and Dragons, so it's going to be it's going to be complex choosing your characters. And there's like, you know, like the origin characters we want, and like, you know, the class we want for them.
And is it multiplayer?
Subclasses.
Or do you and I have to compromise on a single player?
It's multiplayer. So that's why another reason why I wanted to play it, because it's couch co-op, so we can play it. I think it's 4 in a party, so we could pick 2, you know, that we want to play with as, and then 2 as like support.
It's a lot of characters. I mean, we are going to need a video just for that, because that's a lot of characters. We got to negotiate like what's going to be the best advantage for our team.
Well, that's why we're talking about it now. What do you think? What are some of the ones that you?
Well, I'm definitely a druid.
Well, hang on.
No question.
Let me pop this up real quick. Okay. So, you definitely want to be a druid.
Yes.
Druid.
I want to talk to animals. Period. Full stop.
Great character. Druid was one of the characters I'd want to have in the party, anyways. So you being a druid is fine. I think warlock would be good for us. Is
that who you want to play as?
That's probably how I'm gonna go. Because some fighting along with some magic, and it said it had basically one of the best spells in the game. And like I like that combo because like I do like casting spells, but I also want to get my hands dirty. And, like I don't want to just like sit back there like as a wizard and just kind of like throw spells and everything. Like And I feel like the wizard for me, I would just like there'd be too many spells, and I would sit there for 45 minutes thinking about which spell I want to cast on this particular person. So I think like there'd be too many options. So like having a little bit less, restricting my options, I think is good. So warlock and druid. Okay. Now, what other characters jumped out at you as far as like you think like this would be a fun character to have like in the party?
So I will say that the cleric stuck out to me. I think because of Pike. Like that's my in the D&D world is Vox Machina. Mm-hmm. So that stuck out. But I think if we have a druid, then I think a cleric may have some redundancy, especially if we also have a warlock, because now we're getting very magic heavy. So I think
that's just not bad.
It's not bad. No, I'm not saying it's bad. Yeah. I'm just saying like I think it would be beneficial to diversify the party so that you have a lot of different skill sets in there that you can take advantage of. So I want a bard in there because vicious mockery. I don't need to know anything else. There will be magic, there will be battles, and that's all well and good, and that's gonna be fun, but we need some humor in there. Yeah, so I want a bard.
That's brilliant, because that is the other character one of the characters that I wanted. I was deciding between 2 characters. I'm like, I hope Bethany picks one of these 2 characters, because then I'll pick the other one. So you went with the bard and the druid, and those are the 2 characters I was hoping you were going to pick. I'm like, I'll go with the warlock, and I think our 4th character will be the paladin. Because it kind of splits the difference between like a warrior and a cleric, and kind of gets the best of the both worlds. And we can make them pretty tanky if we get a paladin. But also like, I want some healing abilities in there. So maybe we have to check again when we're going through it. It'll still probably be a little bit paladin, cleric. Have to see like how we do our bard and our druid and our warlock with our subclasses and the characters that we choose as well, the origin characters.
There's races, there's backstory, there's like so much. I mean, yeah, we chose our class, yay to us, but like there's still 40 minutes of footage here choosing the characters.
So, those they can change, but those were the 4 that stood out to me. Ranger and Rogue, like I was debating between like taking one of them, but like
those are my other ones after Bard.
If we have a druid, then like they can pick. It said like druids can pick locks as well, and can do some stealth, but like it's not like its only thing. Whereas like Rogue, like you kind of like have to do stealth.
And we don't do stealth.
But it's a little different doing stealth in these games than it is in other ones. Like because like you could have your Rogue go invisible, and then as you're fighting a character, like have the Rogue go around and like just like it's not necessarily. Yeah, it's different than when we're like trying to like sneak around in Little Nightmares, and then we make like Step on Glass or something like that, and then the creepy long arm janitor comes and kills us.
Yeah, but like Little Nightmares isn't the only example of us being bad at stealth.
This is true. This is true. All right, so good video. I'm glad we checked it out. Like I said, because like you said, like I said, like you said. No, more like what you said. This game does seem like it's going to take so long just to get started. So I started doing some of these videos, checking out the origin characters, then checking out, the different classes. Maybe go do subclasses and everything like that. But yeah, building up to playing some Baldur's Gate 3. I'm looking forward to it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Good. I'm glad you're looking forward to it as well. That's the other thing. I'm like, I want to get her more into it, as well, because I know it's my kind of game that I would definitely love. But it's not necessarily a game that we've played.
No, but I mean, I do love fantasy. I love a good story. And I feel like, especially since this is based on the D&D universe, like I feel there is the groundwork here for great story. Yeah. And if you give me a good story, I will be invested in the game. And
multiple playthroughs, because you can like, based on the characters, the different way you play, different characters you choose, different choices you make, it can change the outcome, which I like that as well. So yeah. Let us know what you thought about this down below in the comments, and let us know which classes you chose for your first playthrough for Baldur's Gate 3.
Yeah.
And if you want all of our reactions to this series, check out the description of this video. We got a playlist there. Thanks so much for checking out our reaction for Baldur's Gate 3. Which class is right for you? Just keep in mind
that our reaction is definitely not definitive.